What's up, it's Dr. Dre here. Today I'm going to talk about this $3,000 welding helmet and whether it's worth it to you to buy it. So this setup is not actually just a welding hood, it's also a respirator that attaches to the welding hood, so you have a filtered environment that you're constantly breathing in. This is called the 3M Speed Glass Flip-Up Welding Helmet 9100FX with heavy duty AdFlow PPAR, and it costs about 2,500 Australian dollars. On top of this, I added a starter accessory kit that has like an extra filter and etc. in it, and it costs probably around $200. So this setup right here costs close to $3 grand, I think 2,700 or something like that. So in this video, I'm going to talk about why I spent so much on a welding hood setup. Right now, I work at a welding apprenticeship where it's mostly MIG welding in the 200s of amps on dirty materials. So there's all this smoke in the air constantly that we're breathing in addition to dust from angle grinders and such. And this wreaks havoc on your lungs. It makes you feel terrible all the time and have a horrible cough, so I knew I needed some sort of breathing apparatus. Probably the most obvious choice would be getting a disposable mask like an N95 respirator or something like that, but there's a couple drawbacks to those. The first one is they're very uncomfortable, so it's difficult wearing for, I don't know, 8 hours a day. And the second reason is those can really add up in terms of the cost, so they weren't really an option. The benefit of those though is they can fit under any welding hood that you have. The second option that I had would be getting some sort of respirator that is not any sort of forced air. So something like this 3M design. So the drawback of that is they are still pretty uncomfortable, and in addition to this you have to draw pretty hard into them to get enough air, and that can be pretty uncomfortable wearing it for the whole day. My third option would be getting something like this. This is called a Clean Space 2. I actually used to have one of these, but it got stolen, which is really unfortunate because they cost like $700. I'm only talking about the Clean Space 2 because it's the only one I've had any experience with, but I know it's decently comfortable and it fits under virtually any welding hood that I've tried. So if you do a decent amount of welding and are serious about protecting your lungs, it might be a good option. But if you do this kind of thing as a job like I do, where I spend more time at work than home and a large portion of it is welding, this is what you want to have. This kit is made up of the Speed Glass 3M 9100 welding hood with the AdFlow heavy duty kit attached to it. You can get a lighter duty kit that goes onto it and you'd save a couple $100, but I wanted to go big and get the right thing so I'd never have to replace it. This welding hood alone costs around $900. It's pretty expensive. In comparison, this is stock price, probably the most expensive hood that I have, and it costs about $400. This is the Lincoln Viking 3350 series. And this is really the gold standard of welding hoods. However, 3M is really known for making the extreme quality welding hoods, and this is an example of that. So these are very expensive, but they're very high quality. I won't go into all the details, but essentially what makes this hood more expensive than other ones is it's built of a more rugged material, and the size of the lens is bigger. I'll grab a regular size lens. This is my Outlaw leather welding hood, and it has a 2x4 lens, which is the standard among most welding hoods. And you can clearly see that this one is far bigger. A larger welding area, larger lens area makes it quite a bit easier to see. I have noticed that it helps far more with beginners than people who are decently experienced, but it still helps you nevertheless. Also, another big thing is optical clarity. This one is more clear than any welding hood I've used, and this is probably the clearest welding hood I have. It's got a 1-1-1-1 rating on it, so it's virtually the clearest that a lens can get according to that scale, but this is even clearer. Also, I got the one with the flip-up lens on it. So instead of having a grind mode like most welding hoods have, it's just a flip-up thing. So instead of having like a shade 3 or 4, you just have clear, and that makes it a lot easier to see. Also, there is more adjustability with the lens. With me, I just set all my hoods to shade 9 or 10 and then a mid sensitivity, and I just leave them there. One huge benefit of this sort of deal right here is that the filtering air thing is attached around your waist instead of it being around your neck or on your face, which makes it a lot lighter. I'll show you. So I have it attached here, And I'll just put it on. Now, one thing I immediately realized is how insanely massive they make this belt. So I'm a pretty big guy, I'm about 90 kilos. I don't know if that comes across on camera. But I'm on the second largest, or second smallest hole on this. Look how much extra space I have. It's ridiculous. I don't know how fat they think welders are. But this attaches around the waist, and it actually goes on the back instead of the front, which is far more comfortable. And it's in the perfect spot where the weight is on your hips, but it's not where your butt is, so it's a lot more comfortable, and it gives you the same range of motion, and it doesn't interfere with stuff. By the way, this is powered by a lithium-ion battery that you probably have to charge once a day or every couple days. So it's connected to the filter pack with a hose that connects into the welding hood. I'll show you now. One advantage of this sort of environment where the air is taken from the welding hood is it doesn't fog up. I'll show you. See, as soon as I breathe out, the air in it starts just pulling the moisture away. So I don't know if you guys can hear me, so I'm just going to talk as loud as I can. So here is the welding hood on, and this is what it looks like. And virtually all of the weight is concentrated around my hips, which are very strong, and it's really, really comfortable. So who was this hood designed for? Well, from what I can see on their website, it's for people who really want the most high quality product they can get in terms of some sort of breathing apparatus with a welding hood. This hood's designed to be as comfortable and nice to use as possible, and that's really what justifies the high price tag. What this hood would be awesome for is if you do a lot of flux core welding as a part of your job. So flux core welding gives off a lot of smoke, and there's a lot of people in sort of either something like production lines or just doing high amperage flux core welding on something like a water tank at like 400 amps where there's just smoke everywhere, and that can be a serious hazard to your health. Also, if you're doing a lot of work with an angle grinder or something like that, there'll be dust everywhere, and this can really be a problem. So anyway, that's what this is designed for. Anyway, if you are someone who thinks it's absolutely absurd to spend that much money on something like this, I'd ask you, how much money have you spent on your car? How much money have you spent on your guns? What about your clothes? You probably wear Supreme clothes. It's all about priorities, and your health should be something at the top of that list. This will undoubtedly pay for itself in not that long if you just talk about medical expenses. But not to mention, it's just feeling great all the time, not having garbage in your lungs. Welding is probably equivalent to smoking if you're doing a lot of it. It's terrible for your lungs, all the smoke that's coming off. So would I recommend this to you? Well, it depends. If you're doing a lot of wire feed welding, especially on dirty materials, I definitely would recommend this. But if you do a bunch of TIG welding, if you're just a hobbyist or something, or just weld occasionally, I would definitely not recommend this. It's just too expensive. And for the times where you need to weld on something painted or rusted or something like that, just get like an N95 respirator, or even better, get one for like paint fumes or something like that. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll post the review on this YouTube channel probably in a couple weeks. If you've enjoyed the video, please leave a like down below, maybe subscribe to this channel, leave a comment down below. Hey, God bless, love you all, Michael out. See ya.